Assalamu alaikum everyone. How are you? So today we are starting podcast number 1 for our assignment number 3. I think whatever. So my name is Ghayoor Abass. I'll be your host for this evening. I am from BSc 2B Software Engineering Department. So today we have two guest speakers with us. Arbaz Khan Orakzai from BSc 2B apparently as well. Farik itne kyun ho gaye?
No idea.
Okay, so we also have Burhan Ali Khan. He is also from BSc 2B. Guys, don't look at me. I have a very real low friend circle. What can I do? Well, today we are here to discuss some inspiring stories that will motivate our audience to do something in life. So, Arbaz, let's start with you. Could you please share an experience with me that our audience can find motivation?
Mostly when life got me dumps, I just search cat videos or cat pictures on Google, but sometimes I had a phase where I was motivated.
Okay.
So it was back in 11th when I had a very rough patch in life. My grandma passed away about a week before my final exams.
So,
And-
did you have any affection with
Well, 50-50.
modern type of affection? 2020.
50-50.
Okay.
Not 20-80.
Okay.
But anyways, going back. So I came back to my city about like 2 days before exam. I'm like, okay, I don't know anything at this point. I'm just blank. I see I got course books and I'm like, should I burn them or should I burn myself? So I procrastinated for the final day, and at the last day I was just sitting, saying, okay, I'm gonna fail. I just gave up at that point because, man, what could I do? So there my father told me about his story, that how he failed 3 times and yet he tried again and again and again, and at the end reached a level that people hardly reach.
Kind of like the typical father story that
That
everyone
is,
has,
but
right?
the thing is that
they all face some hardship.
I know, but the thing is, I saw it with my own life. So it happened back in Islam, but I cannot go too much in detail. That's personal information. But man, like when you just remember that thing, the nostalgia that hits you, like, okay, he's right. So I started studying, like it was at the moment 12 p.m. at the night. The exam was at 8, and I'm like, okay, one book, easy. I did like 80% of the book and scored about 80 to 85 in that exam.
And
Of
this
course-
cycle repeated for the rest of the exams, right?
No, like I wish life was that good. For Urdu and other art subjects, I was super bad at them. Like I didn't know how to even read. And writing is just like scribbling, like chicken scratch at that point. And of course, who the hell is gonna read chicken scratch? And at the last I scored about 75%, which was mama okay. At least
Still
I
you passed the bar.
yeah, it was like I went.
And that typical father story still motivated you enough to
Of
do
course,
something.
it's enough. Like when you're down, even if someone tells you you're doing a great job, it's enough to make a man reach the moon.
True. Very true.
But still, I rather watch cat videos. Too much work.
yeah, but
Sadly.
everyone has bad hobbies. What can we do? So, thanks for that story. Now I would like to move on to you, Burhan, my brother. So, could you also share any experience?
Yeah,
that
I
you have
also
with-
have some kind of experience when I was in 8th class, 8th grade, and I went to see in college. They have their last parent. My cousin had their last parent. What can we say? Parents' day.
Cousin's last parent.
Yes, he was in Cat College summer. He was there was a event that last parents' day, and I went to the college Cat College summer. And
So
when
they
I
called
see the
their families, I think.
yeah, they called their families, so I went there with them. So when I see the college and their interior and their attitude, their pride, their design, their attitude, and
The
that
atmosphere,
motivated me
essentially,
that
right?
I should also join this Cat College summer and can achieve something. They have their confidence, they build themselves, and they change their
But
their
looks
way of
can be
talking.
deceiving, right?
Yes, that's the point. So when at that point I was in bad condition and I get motivated and I give my whole self and just working hard day by day. I keep improving myself, and when I joined that cadet college Sangar, after 4 days, I become depressed. I
You face reality.
The thing is, I actually was
the
the
reality check was, I can't believe that it was so depressing, and I called my parents and say that please
Bring me back.
bring me back. And I
But
had
still, the atmosphere, even though the look was deceiving, it inspired you to join the cadet college.
But after 1 year, man, I was so changed and my mentality was so changed, and I improved myself that much that I cannot say in words. That was my motivation.
You see, that is also applicable in life. In life, even after a university, after a bachelor's, we will see places where we will be inspired to join them, but breaking ourselves down back and back and back again, only then we can stand up with a new attitude and a new ego
Yeah.
and face life head on.
And that point, I faced the second reality check that in life, when we see something very shiny, it can be very much,
Dull
it can
as
give
well.
you some hardship. And when you see, face some hardship, you will improve yourself. It is a famous saying that hard times create strong men. Strong man creates what we can say the
What were you trying to say? So strong man?
strong man creates weak time creates weak person, and weak person
Yes.
creates strong
But
man.
weak time creates strong person. I get what you're trying to say
Yes.
there. Strong man can only be born from having a weak time
Yeah.
and facing that head
The
on.
hardship and
Okay. So your stories have also inspired me enough to share my own story. I wouldn't do that since I'm an interviewer, but as this is an assignment, what can I do? So the thing about my motivational story, it's kind of like a funny thing. So what happened was that when I started lower secondary, I was a good student academically. So what happened was that after our mids, basically our mids is kind of like our first term. So think of it as a first term. Our first term essentially happens in quizzes and small things. That was the way. No, St. Patrick's. So that was the way of our school. So when midterm or our first term started, I aced all of my exams and came out on top. I was very happy. But there was one sir, our computer sir. His name was, I wouldn't like to disclose it personally. Let's just call him B-Man for now. Okay?
C, computer.
Okay. The C-Man. So the C-Man apparently came one day after our mids, and then he was like, "Oh, nice. Your average is very better than I thought." I was like, "Oh my god." A proud moment to be a member of my class. And then he started to say, "Who topped?" I was like, "Shit. Something's about to happen." And then me, two of my friends and one other guy, we stood up, and then he just started repeating the whole syllabus, asking us everything. And at that point we were basically mind deaf, literally, because we had given our exams and now everything was out of our mind. Our minds were like brainwashed. We knew what we have learned, but it wasn't coming back to our mind in the way that he was questioning. So that questioning session actually inspired me to review the course material again and again and perfect everything that I've learned. And over the course of time, mashallah, after 7th, 8th, I improved myself and started getting above 90 in terms of percentage. So when I reached 9th standard, he wasn't my teacher at that time, C-Man. So there was also another computer teacher, we will call him B-Man. Now you cannot say that we cannot call him B-Man. I cannot
C2.
go for C2. Okay, that's too much of a robotic name.
I had like
So-
a teacher who was like this. So he was a physics teacher, and sometimes he teach concepts that were like non-scientific. So I like said, that's wrong. I like prove it. And one day he just kicked me out of class. The next day, before his class, I wrote the entire board with the proof that proved that he's wrong. And I did it quite nicely. I had like 2 counseling sessions after that.
If that happens and the teacher finds out he's wrong, I'm coming to that. So in 9th standard, what happened was that B-man knew of my skill. So when first term came back again, and that time we were preparing for boards, so the pressure was on another level. So me, in typical old-fashioned board fashion, you can say sin board fashion, I had basically memorized most of the book. I knew every page number to every paragraph. My
Ratification.
my memory power was that strong at that time. So what happened essentially was that in my midst, thanks to my understanding of computers and my memory power, what happened was that I scored a perfect 75 out of 75 in a sin board level paper. So C man, he didn't believe it because the highest class that his marks achieved was 64 or something. So he checked my paper and he was like, oh my god, this is He checked my paper, he took it from B-man. And then he was saying, B-man, no, you cannot give marks for this. And he was like, the student has written it perfectly, what can I do? You're saying to cut marks with, I cannot even cut them. So one day what happened was that one of our teachers was absent and C-man took his substitute. C-man came and I was chilling in my own mood. So randomly C-man, what happened was that he was trying to take over our class. He was trying to shame us. So what I did was, I was sitting there, he asked me a simple question. He started asking the class questions actually. So at one point, he looked at me and I looked at him. He was like, Beta, how did you score 75? I was like, I know stuff, sir. Even if you don't believe me, I'm not that same old person that you met some years ago. So he was like, prove it to me. I said, you have the 9th class textbook with you. Open any page and any topic and I will explain it to you perfectly. And the funny thing that happened, he opened the same page number and the same topic that I studied yesterday. I stood up, I went to the board, I took, at that point we didn't have markers in class, there were chalks. So, you remember? White chalks. So, I took the chalk from him and I started explaining the concept to him on the green board. And he was shocked. He was like, this is exactly what is written in the book and it's explained even better.
One by one.
At that point, he just left the book on the desk, the teacher desk that is similar. It's similar to this desk, or desk was similar to this in form and manner. So he just threw the book like this and left the classroom. Literally left the classroom, and the whole period we were just sitting like maybe he might come back, and we enjoyed our time. So it was a funny story, but the lesson in that was that even though his method was kind of wrong in a way, but it inspired me to perfect myself and reevaluate my concepts. And
do you know why I got good in science subjects?
Why?
So basically, when I was in APS, we had A sections, A, B, C, D, and the A section scored higher than the rest of sections because they were hard. But there was a teacher who just took it a little too much to her head. One day she came to us and just started saying like, you just got 80s, my class is always at 90s and all that. And I don't know why, but it kind of pissed me off. And the next thing you know, I scored 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100 till the class was there. So I know that A class get a single position because I did that test. And on the final I scored like 95% to 94%. And I went to the teacher and like, he.
So what was the reaction, his or her?
Her reaction was she just simply ignored him. Went to counsel the students. Nothing happens. It's life. You can do it. Don't look at them.
The satisfaction after achieving the result
Bro,
of
that
your
was
motivation
peak. That was at
another
peak.
level. That is something else that you see.
My happiness was at its
Well, it seems that our time is up. We are a time limit, unfortunately.
We got a class.
So we also have a class, I think. So thank you for being with us today here, and I would like to end our podcast by saying that you can achieve anything in life if you focus towards it. You don't need any motivational story from someone or a sob story with a motivation at its end to achieve something great in life. To achieve something great, you have to push yourself to the limits. And how can you push yourself? You can only push yourself by accepting that you have to do the thing that is required of you. So thank you for joining us today and Allah Hafiz.
My final words will be so try to achieve something, not everything. When you go for everything, you will never achieve anything. Like literally, quite.
Thank you for your
And
insight.
thank you. I'm gonna go.
Thank you
for
for
the
your
class.
insight and you just interrupted my
It
outro.
happens.
And
So
That's how
as I
it
was
happens.
saying, thank you for joining us today and Allah Hafiz.